I've given myself a day now to sort of come down from the stress levels, the super, super high stress levels from the Liverpool Man City game. I'm just going to be giving my thoughts on it. Nothing too in depth, not an analytical breakdown of the game, just my overall thoughts on it, just how I think the game went, how I think individual players done, and what I think this means for the season going forward. Hello and welcome to Good Sport Reviews. My name is Lewis, and today we are going to be going through the Liverpool Man City draw at the Etihad that took place yesterday. Now, I was actually at Redmen TV for it, and to say the tension was high would be an understatement. It was the most, you could hear a pin drop at points in that room. It was unreal how stressed we were, and for good reason at times. There was definitely a few moments in that match which just really gave raised my blood pressure. We'll get into them shortly. Just my overall thoughts on it. It's a good result. It's a point gain for us. It's 2 points drop for City, and that's the way it should be coming away from the Etihad. 23 teams have gone there. 23 teams have been beaten. City are a juggernaut at the Etihad, and it's become their Anfield, so to speak. It's a fortress now. They've turned it into a ground that no one wants to go to. It's very rare that teams pick up results there anyway, but this year it's been damn near impossible, and we've actually gone there and managed to take a point from it. So overall, I'm happy with the result. It was at times a performance which gave me stress, but at other points it was a very mature performance. Now, what I mean by that is certain players showed a lot of maturity, a lot of experience, and Klopp definitely did with his substitutions and his tactical way that he wants to play the game. So I'm going to go into that today and just give my thoughts on it. So starting off, Alisson Becker. Now, notoriously, Alisson is a very calm and composed keeper, but he does have a few moments where players get close to him when he has the ball at feet, and it gives you that little bit of panic. There was one or two moments where I was watching it thinking, don't do that. Don't just get rid of it. Just go route one and huff it away if you have to. He gave the ball to Foden at one point. Thankfully, it wasn't a goal. But then for the actual goal itself, he slips when he's trying to put it through to Salah, which we've seen against Man United. It just didn't work. And ultimately, it cost us a goal. That and some poor defending, which I'll go into in a moment. Alisson, this game, though, was, you could see the nerves on him, his face, the whole match. He just didn't seem comfortable there. I think he's always struggled a little bit at the Etihad. It's been a bit of a curse for him. I remember one season he gave it to Man City and they went on and scored straight from that pass. So, it is what it is, but we move on. Overall, he didn't have a bad performance, but he definitely didn't have a good performance. When you compare him to Ederson, who was having a fantastic game with his range of passing, the man's unreal. There should be no criticism really aimed at Alisson. He has just had an injury this match towards the end as well, which probably didn't help him. We don't know if that was going on through the match or what, but hopefully it's nothing serious and he just comes back from it. Then the next player we need to talk about is the man of the match, Trent Alexander-Arnold. That, I said it on the player ratings for Redmen, which you can go check out. It was a mature performance from him, and that's the key word here. Is he showed experience beyond his years. He's still 23, I believe. He was playing like he was in his late 20s to early 30s. It was a very mature performance. He used his own intelligence to decide not to come into the inverted midfield role, because if he did and City hit us on the counter, there was so much space in behind him for Doku to get in. And Doku yesterday gave a magnificent performance, but Trent managed to contain it well when he was there. There was one or two moments where he did get beat, of course, but Doku's a super quick player. It was always going to happen once or twice, and given the task in front of him, I think Trent held up really well in that department. It was very similar to the Sane game in the Champions League when Trent first broke in. That was his standout performance, and this felt very similar to that. With regards to the inverted role, he'd only go there if he saw the opportunity. He wouldn't do it if it was a risky situation. It didn't cost us anything when he did finally move there. And overall, I think it benefited the team having that extra bit of stability at the back, especially in the second half when City were trying to counter-attack. They were trying to get us on the break. Everything was going through Doku, and they still weren't able to create anything sizable with it. It would be Trent would square off to him, or Matip would square off to him. He'd have to cut inside, pass it across the box, and Van Dijk was there to clear it. It worked, and Trent, for all the criticism he gets defensively, maybe he's not the best defender. I will be the first to admit this, but his footballing IQ is improving. And it's the same thing that I said about Van Dijk. Physically, he might not be up to it compared to a lot of other players, like Doku today, yesterday, for example. But mentally, he knows where to position himself, and that nullified Doku's threat in the end. So no complaints from me. And then he scores a wonderful goal, which Haaland's was good. This was great. Like the touch, the control when there's two players closing around you, and the ability to be able to square it into that far corner. It was superb. And it's again, it's maturity. That's the key word here. Trent was mature in his performance. He stepped up like a captain should, or a vice captain even, and he took the game by the scruff of the neck. He was at the toughest ground against the toughest team, with arguably the toughest fan base to go against when you're Liverpool at the moment. And he had the balls, quite frankly, to score a goal like that and shush the fans. And that is a moment that's up there with the Gerrard kissing the camera, the Suarez diving in front of David Moyes. It's one of those iconic celebrations that's going to live long in the memory. And if we do go on to achieve what people are saying we can, that moment will be the moment of the season. Just to touch as well on the substitutions, Klopp's decisions were very smart. I was very impressed with it. I did feel when we needed that goal, he went all out. You know, Gakpo was on, Nunez, Salah, Diaz came on for Jota. It was very smart in that sense. He would go for it, get the goal, perfect. And then when we realised, look, we can't keep this up, City are starting to come at us a bit more. Doku had real joy, sort of in the mid period of that second half. We made the changes, and on comes Gravenberch, on comes Endo, on comes Harvey Elliott, and we were more defensively astute, and it paid off. None of the substitutions looked poor. Endo caught out of position once, but he a good tactical foul in a sense. You know, he did his job, brought down Doku. I don't like saying that, but if it wins us the match or gets us the draw, I don't care. He did his job, and that's what he's there to do. Gravenberch came on. Rodri could not contain him, whether it was fitness, whether it was just Gravenberch had a bit of luck, whether it was just he's just genuinely so skilled that he was able to do it. I don't know, but he left Rodri behind, and his run actually led up to the goal. So credit to him, he was superb when he came on. Elliot, he plays like a fan. He plays like he loves the club because he is a fan. He will run and commit to tackles and try and win the ball back, and he was stupendous. I struggle for a word then. He was brilliant when he came on. Didn't do a lot going forward. There was one moment where I was sat with Dom from the Road End podcast, which you can check out here, by the way, and Elliot was pressing Ederson, and he was panicking. He was like, "Don't do it, just stay there." And yeah, there is moments where he does get carried away, but if ultimately it's going to lead to us upping the tempo at moments when we needed to, I'm fine with that. And Elliot deserves credit for the fact that he can do that. We saw it against Newcastle when he came on. We saw it against Wolves when he was on. He changes the game physically, so to speak. He gets everyone riled up because he plays how Liverpool players should play. Just to touch on City then, I mean, they didn't have a great game. This whole match, while it was superb in the way it was played, it was end to end, it was exciting. It felt like this is the usual matches. It felt slightly beneath it. The fans seemed quiet. No one was particularly excellent in terms of the display. It just felt like everyone was sort of evenly meh. It didn't stand out as opposed to other fixtures. The goals will, the celebration will, the Nunez and Pep at the end will, but the overall match, it just felt very low tempo. And I think City had a big part to do with that. In the second half, it felt very walk around, pass the ball around, just take your time. We've got plenty of time. Get it to Doku, and then suddenly he sprints. Other than that, there wasn't anything major. And I'll get the elephant out of the room now. It wasn't a foul. Now, listen, City should have had that second goal. I will hold my hands up to that. City were robbed of that goal. Now, I'm not going to say we've never been robbed of anything, because obviously we have, but I don't want to be one of those fans who's just VAR's out to get us. Oh, we deserve this, we deserve this. City should have had that goal. If that was two outfield players going for a 50-50, going for the ball, it would have been a 50-50. It would have been, okay, yeah, goal. And if the Gabriel Joelinton goal was given, There's no reason this one shouldn't have been. So I feel sorry for City fans in that respect. They really did deserve that goal, and ultimately it could have led to a win. Yeah, it is what it is. But in the end, a 1-1 draw is a good result. We've come away from that match with the better result of the two teams. Um, we showed that we can take on anyone. My only concern now is the pressure's on because now we have to confess that we are in a title race, but there's still weakness there. My only concern is we are going to these away grounds, Chelsea away, City. I'm happy with that one. We can sort of discard that, but like Luton away, Tottenham away, that's a draw, and a loss. Like we're going to the away grounds and we're not getting wins, and we need that. We've still got Arsenal away. We've still got United away. We've still got Villa away. We need to get these results. We need to start getting 3 points at these away grounds. That's what we did in the season we won the league. We went to Stamford Bridge and won. We went to Old Trafford and picked up the late draw, which is fine. We didn't have to worry about the Etihad or the Emirates because we'd already won the league by that point. We've got to go to these away grounds and get 3 points. City is excusable because it's the hardest ground to go away to, arguably next to St James's Park. It's just my only concern. And now I do believe we are in the title race. We've kept the pace with City. We're 1 point behind them. We've gone to the Etihad, toughest fixture of the season, and we've got a point. Now we just have to keep pushing on, hope City drop more points. And Arsenal actually have got the last minute winner against Brentford. They're in this just as much. It's a three horse race at the moment. And for me, we can do it. We just have to up the tempo a bit. Just final thoughts. Very happy with the result. A few players I wish could have done better. Maybe Curtis Jones. He didn't have a great game. Jota, definitely. Nunez and Salah were a bit... they were okay. But if we can be okay against a City team at the Etihad, and we can still get the draw, I'm very confident going forward. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe and leave any comments that you want. It all helps. We're on 91 subscribers at the moment. Let's get to 100. We're so close to doing it by Christmas. Thank you guys very much. There's going to be more content coming. I understand it's been a few days since, but my schedule just hasn't really lined up very well with it. But there's going to be plenty more coming next week. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.